Carl from Last Bell Boxing, joined by what can only be described as a legend, Adam Smith. Adam, good to see you back, good to see you healthy, fellow Liverpool fan, so thank you for taking this interview.
No problem at all. No, we got the kick-off in a couple of hours, so we need a miracle tonight, but miracles have happened with our football club before, so very excited about watching that. And yeah, really thank you for asking about my health. Very pleased to be here, to be back in boxing, to be back in sport. I've taken a couple of really important roles. I think one at Summit Sport, which is a brilliant startup management company, which we're going to look after, already are looking after athletes. We've signed Sophie Alish, the wonderful young German fighter, and Naraldo Yumeri, who we're really excited about. And we're going to be adding more to the Summit stable. There's a big link to GBM as well, and so yeah, I want to look after athletes. That's my real drive now. I want to give back, and I want to give back to a young promotional team, and I was approached by Izzy. I love his enthusiasm. I think he's a smart guy. I think he's a former fighter, so he knows what he wants from fights and what he wants, how he wants boxers to be treated. And yeah, he's doing some really big things at GBM, and I was really impressed when I saw some of the shows. He invited me to commentate on one of them, and I got the bug again. And yeah, I'm really close to the guys at Matchroom and the guys at Queensbury and the guys at Wasserman, and they're fantastic. They've all set the standard, the gold standard in many ways, and it's exciting to be working with a couple of young companies who hopefully I can help advise with some experience I've had over the years in the sport and around Sky, and it's really exciting times. I mean, I'm honest with you. I'm commentating on Devon Haney and Ryan Garcia at the weekend in the early hours of Sunday morning, which I can't wait for. Fantastic fight, but I'm equally as excited about this because the coming of age show in Sheffield is young talent. It's guys coming back like Hughie Fury. It's guys who've got dreams like Shaquille Thompson. It's a couple of Irish unbelievable amateurs in Kieran Malloy and Tieran Bradley. They're wonderful signings for GBM. Izzy's making a lot of noise, and I'm just really pleased and privileged to be a part of it, and I'm very, very excited about the prospect of Saturday night and what lies beyond.
Do you see some synergy between when Sky launched and Barney Francis and Eddie Hearn, he was involved in them very early days, to what's happening now at GBM?
Yeah, Barney was an amazing boss and a mentor to me. Jonathan Lish now runs Sky Sports. He's another fabulous guy. We're very lucky to work under the very best at Sky. And Barney, I was blessed with having the MD of Sky Sports being probably a bigger boxing fan than me, right? His knowledge of sort of the 80s and 90s boxing was incredible, and he had a whole range of sports and channels to look after, but I was very lucky that he loved my sport, and I think we made a great team, and Eddie came in at the right time, and yeah, those were very, very exciting times. I had a wonderful boxing team at Sky who were brilliant, and Eddie had a great young team at Matchroom, and yeah, the days obviously I worked with Glenn and Jim and the likes of Matt and everybody, Carl, and just fantastic, and bringing the likes of Tasha and everyone through is just wonderful. And, but the backroom team of, Andy Scott and Ed Robinson and John Beloff and James Tynan and Johnny Ellis-Peterson and all these people were fantastic, and some fantastic women. They never get a mention, really. Beth Barker, Darren's wife, and Sarah Chenery, one of the most fantastic directors, brilliant. Jenny Blackmore and Sarah Hornsby and Leanne Arneson as well. Phenomenal people, great women behind the scenes. And we had Kate Abdo and Anna Woolhouse as women presenters. I think we really had a phenomenal time there, and obviously with Johnny and me at ringside and all the guests we had, it was just a brilliant buzz. So yeah, those were fantastic times. And then I had a challenge and a great time with Ben Shalom. I really enjoyed working with Ben. He was new to it, and it was a different challenge, and we had some fantastic times together, and we signed some brilliant young fighters, and I'm really excited about Lauren Price going for a world title in a few weeks' time. I can't wait to be there for that. Watching Caroline and Fraser and that fight he was in the other night, just great. Karis and some great talent coming through, Adam Azim, but I don't know, I guess, Boxer has sorted out with Sky, and TNT have got Frank and George, and then Frank Smith and Eddie have got DAZN, and I just think I was attracted here, right? TalkSport, YouTube, Izzy, sort of, it's building, right? The momentum's going, okay? He's packing out the crowds. People are loving the atmosphere. It's the young prospects. It's good 50-50 fights. it's got everything, and I just love being around those shows. So it does take me back to those days where we moved from leisure centres to arenas. And Eddie said to me, look, we've got to do it like the darts. We've got to pack it up, make everyone having a great time. And that's what we did. We filled the arenas. And I feel that same sort of buzz again. And I think that Izzy is like a young Eddie, right? He's got a long way to go. And I think that just charisma, enthusiasm, passion, smart, hard work. You know, Eddie obviously had his dad, but he works so hard and he's so talented and he's the best at what he does, right? And I was just love working with him. And I think with Izzy, I've got this similar sort of bond already. The synergy is there. We just buzz off each other on the phone. And yeah, I'm delighted that we're working together, and his team are great. His backroom team are fantastic. They're a great structure, just like Matchroom was. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Brilliant answer. I love interviewing people like you, Adam, because I can just ask a question and you just run away with it. So it's very refreshing. Thank you very much. Last question from me. We've had a couple of questions come into the channel. One question was, what is the best fight you've ever commentated on?
That's an easy answer. Actually, it was the first fight between Diego Corrales and Jose Luis Castillo for the world unification, for the world lightweight titles. Unification undisputed is in the air at the moment, isn't it? But I think every boxing fan will know that fight. Glenn McCrory and I used to argue. He used to say it was Barrera Morales won, but he was there for that. Jim Watt and I called Diego Corrales and Jose Luis Castillo. Diego Corrales and I got pretty close outside of the ring. He was an amazing individual who went through an incredible life and died so young, and it was so tragic. We had a real bond. I loved Jose Luis Castillo to work with as well. They were polar opposites in characters. They were polar opposites in their fighting styles as well. But that fight, that first fight, when they went toe-to-toe for 9 rounds, and then in the 10th round, Diego Corrales gets floored twice and is finished. And somehow, and I think even Joe Goosen in his corner could not believe he got up and that round stops Castillo. It was a rocky story. It was unbelievable. It was incredible. And I saw Diego a few days later, and he was all banged up, and he was having a cup of tea at I think there was a fight the next week in Vegas, and I came up and I said, you know, that fight will forever be etched in history. And he said, brother, I don't know how I got through it. It was unreal. They had a second fight. It was different because of the weights. Then they had the third fight, which was meant to happen, and the weights again came in, and it never happened. But that first fight between Corrales and Castillo, I think on British soil, I'd go for Macklin and Moore, which was just unreal. Maybe Arthur and Gomez, possibly Danny Williams winning with one arm against Mark Potter. But an AJ Klitschko, I suppose, has got to be, in terms of the outstanding events and the heavyweights, and one of the great heavyweight fights of all time.
You know, because we're Nottingham lads, surely Carl Froch fights must be in there somewhere.
Carl is a very good friend of mine. Froch Kessler, unbelievable.
Froch Kessler too?
Yeah, sure. The second fight at the O2 was incredible. I think Froch Butte as a performance, I didn't think Carl would win that night. I told him before, I thought he'd get beat. I thought Lucien Butte was too good for him. Carl was fantastic, and yeah, he proved me wrong on that occasion. And I'm very close to Carl Froch. He's a terrific guy and a great fighter and a very bright man. And we had a lot of fun with Carl and George in their story, and that Wembley experience, just like AJ Klitschko, Froch Groves, the 80,001 or whatever, how many people were there, was brilliant. But I think, going back to the initial question, what's the greatest fight I've ever commentated on? I think I suppose for global reach, we'd say AJ Klitschko, but for the actual fight that happened, no fight, in my opinion, apart from Hagler Hearns, which was my fight as a kid. I was a Tommy Hearns fan. I cried my eyes out when Hagler beat him. That for incredible, intense 9 minutes or whatever it was of action, 8.5 minutes. But for a fight, Corrales Castillo won. If you haven't seen it, dust it down, watch it back. Unreal. It's still unreal watching it to this day. It still gives me goosebumps. How fighters can go through that. Corrales Castillo won. I don't think anything will ever beat that.
Last one from me. If you look down the lens and tell people why they should tune in Saturday night, and what a great spectacle it promises to be.
Yeah, no problem with that either. The coming of age and the coming back of Hughie Fury. I can see Peter out of the corner of my eye. Hughie Fury returns after 3 years out, and Hughie's just 29, and he's desperate to become a big player in the heavyweight division again. He's got all the talent, all the skills, and look what's happening out in Saudi. His cousin Tyson, obviously, in with Alexander Usyk in just, 4 weeks' time. We can't wait for that. Back on British soil. We cannot wait for Saturday night. Shaquille Thompson headlines in a fantastic night of boxing. He's 11-0 with 7 knockouts. You've got the Irish duo of Kieran Malloy, who I am a massive fan of and have been for a long, long time. He was a wonderful amateur. Kieran Malloy, Tyrone Bradley alongside him. You've got Harvey Lambert. The women's fight I can't wait for, the Commonwealth flyweight title. Can Nicola get it right this time against really, really tough Gemma Rueg, who's proved herself time and again? An unbelievable story where she's come from. I remember when her husband used to fight Danny. They've got Mace, the kid, who's doing really well. That's a great story in itself. We've got a whole cast of characters supporting them as well. A fantastic night with Reb, with Nathaniel, with Michael, with so many of them on the card. I can't even remember the whole lot, but it's fantastic. Tune in. Early doors, TalkSport YouTube, GBM Sports, coming of age at the Rotherham Magna Centre. It's really a Sheffield night. It's a Sheffield night for Shaq Thompson. I think he's going to be one of the great middleweights to come through, not just in Sheffield, but in Britain. I think he's dangerous. He's a wonderful guy. He's a beautiful soul. He's a lovely family man. And that really makes a difference. It really does, I think. You get to know these guys. We've got a fantastic new set of signings. I almost forgot Arlo Stevens as well, the heavyweight. Another heavyweight on the bill. Let's not forget Arlo. He sparred with AJ, he sparred with Fraser. He's coming for trouble as well. I think it's going to be a fabulous night. Something for everybody. Let's hope the fans enjoy it. Let's hope everyone on TalkSport YouTube enjoys it. And then, guys, stay up on TalkSport. Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. Doesn't get better than that in world boxing. They fought 6 times before. 6, can you believe it? They stayed 3-3 as amateurs. That was a long, long time ago. Now they fight for the marbles in New York. Can't wait for that. Ryan Garcia's speed and class, his good looks, his personality, his charisma. Devin Haney, one of the greatest fighters in the world today, pound for pound. I remember him as a kid. Like Kell Brook, I remember seeing Devin when he was 11, 12 in Floyd's gym, and they said, this kid's one to watch. Not one to watch anymore. He's one who's performing. He's one of the great fighters in world boxing. I love Devin Haney. I love Ryan Garcia. Get it on Saturday night. This side of the pond, that side of the pond. I got to go. It's Liverpool.
Thank you very much, Adam. Boxing's a much richer place for having you in it. 4-0 Liverpool tonight. 4-0 Liverpool. Thank you for talking to Last Bell Boxing. Thank you for talking to Last Bell Boxing. Thank you.